The nice thing about having all of the like community casters and a bunch of players who are professionals and have been doing this a very long time is that everybody knows what they're doing. They're practiced at this, so I don't have to worry too much about things going wrong. For the most part, everybody's pretty understanding, and I really appreciate that. We have a lovely community here in StarCraft, and I feel blessed to be a part of it, and to have been a part of it for the last many years, and I hope to continue being a part of it. So thank you guys for having me as part of the community and for supporting this tournament. This community-supported tournament on the Patreon. Check that out. If you love players like this and want to make sure that they keep playing this game as long as possible because they want to keep playing it, I know they do, and we love them for it. Let's get into this game. Game number 1 of our 3rd round of 8 match. Our red Zerg player spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Royal Blood. It is Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. And his opponent in the upper right-hand corner, it is our blue Terran, GuMiho, who is currently teamless. Wow. Imagine that. Also, imagine if my bot ever worked for a full stream. It worked all day. And now it just stops. I don't understand. It just stops working. I wish I knew why. The same way that GuMiho wishes he knew that this Roach Warren was going down, because this is an important thing to know. Dark is going to try to put some early Roach pressure on, and this is specifically to counter the 2 Rax Reaper opening that has been so popular thanks to Beyond and Maru. Now, GuMiho immediately gets the Roach Warren Scout. That is a beautiful thing for GuMiho. He sees there's no drones down here, no Queen down here. Roach Warren, you're coming. He's going to get the double check. Gonna drop the bunker out front, start building some Marines. The Reapers are gonna stay out here though, and they're gonna try to kind of bop these Roaches around. Delay them a little bit if they can. Ooh, but the Lings getting in on top of this first Marine. The Marine count is really important here. There's gonna be so few units. Having those Marines out is gonna be huge. GuMiho building a factory, but right now it's gonna be all about this bunker. I'd love to see him pull a few SCVs down to make sure he gets the repair as well. The Reapers looks like they're going to try to run around and maybe get some damage done on the other side of the map, but there's Lings coming out and Ling speed on the way. Dark is going to all in GuMiho, and GuMiho definitely needs to recognize this. Some nice movement here from GuMiho, trying to repair this barracks up a little bit, doing a little bit of damage. The Reapers, it looks like one of the Reapers died. Haven't gotten the scout on this, but I think they might have gotten the scout on the lack of drones, which is so important. As they jump up here, GuMiho's going to jump down immediately. He's got to recognize now what he's up against. This is not just a little bit of Roach pressure. This is a full all-in from Dark. And yeah, he's going to start pulling these barracks back. He needs to get a repair on this barracks back here to get it to stop burning down. Reaper's coming home. They got to be careful, though. Any DPS right now is so important. The Lings are here. Marines trying to dive backwards, evacuating this front bunker. Reapers doing their best to micro off to the side, pull some units away. More SCVs need to be down here, but they don't have a lot of surface area on this bunker to repair it. It's going to get broken through, and the Lings start flooding in. The SCVs need to come down. They need to be in the fight, but they're so late. GG. Dark just crushes through with that heavy aggression, and GuMiho scouted those follow-up Lings, but just didn't have enough in the response. The Roaches were already doing a little bit too much, and Dark takes a very quick game number 1 there with what I would call cheese. Yeah, imagine GuMiho being teamless. It is kind of crazy we've entered this late stage StarCraft 2 where a lot of the very top players just don't have teams consistently. We don't have a ton of teams in StarCraft, and the ones we do have, you know, just swindle players sometimes. So it gets a little sketchy. I think a lot of players, like, I don't know if they feel like teams are as necessary as they once seemed to be in StarCraft. There are still some very good teams out there, of course. I belong to Storm Gaming. Big fan of being part of that. There's a lot of good teams. We have Dragon Kitesy, Onside, but not every team is as good as those guys. Shopify Rebellion, Team Liquid. If only everybody could be those guys. Yes, to be if you're a Patreon supporter, you will get the replays, not just from this stellar event, but every single week from the KSL. I send the replay packs out. For it's any amount on the Patreon, so $5 a month is the lowest tier, and even just from that, you will get the replays every week. It's really good value. So good value. Insane value. Imagine getting a replay of a best of 5 between these two for just $5. Even just this series is probably worth $5. Probably worth $10. Honestly, I'd pay $25 for it. Spawning in the lower right-hand corner of Neo Humanity, it is Dragon Kitesy Gaming's Dark. His opponent in the upper left is, of course, none other than the Towel Terran himself, GuMiho. Yeah, the thing about StarCraft teams, or just esports teams in general, is it is very difficult to earn money as an esports team. Really, you're generally not gonna earn money as an esports team, esports organization. There are ways, you know, back in the day, it was very common to see sponsorships for teams. So I have very distinct memories of EG, especially was really good at this, getting those sponsorships. I would have no idea what raid call was if it wasn't for EG. I'm actually still not 100% sure what it is, if I'm honest. But I know that they sponsored EG back in the day. Also, like HyperX. For some reason, every time I see HyperX products now, I still think, oh, I should get that because it supports StarCraft. Even though EG hasn't been in StarCraft in a long time, and I doubt they've even been sponsored by HyperX. But that kind of brand recognition is a real thing. And especially in StarCraft, people will try to support brands that support StarCraft. It is absolutely the case. But then you have things like, Shopify has their own team. They don't need a sponsorship. They are their own sponsorship. It's a team owned by a company. So essentially the entire existence of the team is advertising. It's part of their advertising budget, which I think is honestly probably the most reasonable way for something like an esports team to exist. And then you have teams like Team Liquid, which are big enough to have like merch sales. And I have a Team Liquid poster. I have 2 Team Liquid posters. I would consider getting Team Liquid apparel, depending on what it was. They've had some really cool stuff. I actually have a Team Liquid shirt, now that I say that. Like stuff like that, where the brand of the team itself is big enough to make money in that sense. They have partnerships. Whew. Well, RIP those Reapers. In any case, there's a few different ways for esports teams to make money, but generally speaking, they're not likely to be very profitable. In the case of Shopify, I'm sure they just consider it part of their advertising budget, and they lose a lot of money having esports teams. But again, it's good brand recognition. I would have had no clue what Shopify did if it wasn't for them supporting StarCraft, and I assume that's true for probably tens of thousands of other StarCraft fans, you know? So there's something to be said for that. I have a lot more love for Shopify than I ever would them as a brand without the StarCraft team. In any case, I'll talk about this game a little bit as GuMiho just lost those Reapers out there trying to kill that third base, and that's not usually how that goes. Dark getting those kills is really, really nice for him. We've seen this base be a little bit tougher to take against that Reaper opening, specifically because you have to mine through here. Dark not letting that happen in his game, though. GuMiho's going to have to find some damage with his follow-up, which is, of course, just the good old-fashioned. I was going to say 2-on-1, but actually it's the 3-1-1, as the third Rax is done as well. That's going to give him a lot of Marines, like a lot of Marines. Still chilling for now. I think GuMiho wants to wait until the medevacs come out, of course, to go for the big stim. Dark not going to be able to send too much out on the map right now. He's just going to have to play defensively. Really, until Bane speed is done, it's really hard to put pressure out on the map with this kind of style. You can get run-bys done with the Lings, but the Queens and the Creep are such an important part of the composition Dark has right now, which is why GuMiho is feeling kind of free to move around his side of the map. That is a lot of Marines. This is going to be a lot of pressure coming out of GuMiho. I mean, he's going to have a ton of Marines. It looks like he's going to have a siege tank with this. Combat Shields is about to finish. No +1, though, and there's no third CC behind this. So GuMiho, he's putting a lot of his eggs into this basket of this big push. Clearing some of the creep. Dark trying to take this base as well as this one, going for the double expand 4th and 5th, which I always like to see because it means if you realize you can't win the fight and you've got to give up a base, that's cool, dude. You got another one. Don't worry about it. And again, there's no third. So I don't think Dark necessarily needs a 4th and a 5th. He can definitely sacrifice one if he needs to. Sacrificing bases, I feel like, is one of those things when you're playing StarCraft you really don't want to do, but it's so important to be able to sacrifice a base. Give up a position. Dark, yeah, I think he's just going to cancel this. There it goes. He's going to do exactly what I was saying, and suddenly it makes GuMiho's push feel so much less strong because now he just spent all this time getting set up here, and Dark's like, that's fine, you can have that. But now this is getting a little dicey, right? The tank is in range to kill these drones. 4 drones going down already. Dark's trying to bust through. He's going for a counterattack. My God, that is a huge counterattack. Dark doesn't want to give up this base, but I think he's going to. If he can get damage on the other side of the map, he's just going to let this base die. He's got this fresh one to send drones to, and he's got one on the way. There's more medevacs coming out, but they are going to spot this huge counterattack. Oh, I don't think GuMiho realized it. The Banes are going to bust through. And then the Lings and the Banes are going to get on top of that SCV line. GuMiho only has 2 bases. He can't afford to lose all of the mining at one, but he's going to. He's going to kill this base on the other side. It's just not comparable, though. Oh, man, 15 hit points. Okay, he's going to get it. He gets the hot pickup. I thought those Banelings just killed all the Marines there for a second, but no, GuMiho a little too good for that. But he does lose 20 SCVs. GuMiho down to 29 workers. Dark, again, I mean, he's got this base popping. He's still on 4 bases now. After all this, he's on 4 bases. And he's going to finish his Carapace as well. Dark's going to have 1-1 before the Terran on a significantly better economy. And this army of GuMiho is just looking weaker and weaker. He's going to dive in and get these kills. But it just feels like a consolation prize as Dark's 5th base is popping right now. And this is why taking those double expands and just being unafraid to give up bases in certain situations is so important. He recognized that GuMiho was really committed with this attack. There's no third base. There's no workers now. GuMiho just he committed a lot to kill those 2 bases and to kill some drones. And at the end of the day, it doesn't feel that impactful. It feels like Dark is still just cruising. Dark's got an Infestation Pit, Burrow, 2-2. He's like, yeah, I'll just tech up. 66 drones. He knows that's enough because GuMiho has 35 workers. GuMiho, though, pulling all of his forces together. He's going to go, he's going to continue this push. Dark realizes this is coming, and he is getting set up to hit from the backside with a big flank. Come down this ramp. He is going to flood in. He's going to swarm in from both sides. And Dark is just going to have way too much. He should be able to clean this up with relative ease. As all the Marines and all the tanks die, GuMiho just has nothing left. GG gets called. Dark takes a very quick 2-0 in this series. Sorry, more admin things. I actually have to pee really bad. I want to go do that real quick while we're about to load into game number 3 here. Excuse me. Wow, so quick, so fast. All right. Where is my mouse? There it is. I found it. I found it. I got it. Okay, we're back. We're here. We're good. Who's this? What's this? What's this game right now? Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Ancient Cistern. We have our Dragon Kitesy Gamer, the Red Zerg, Dark, on match point already against his Terran opponent in the upper right, GuMiho. Okay. do admin things. It's always important to do admin things when you're administrating a tournament. I don't think I'm a particularly good tournament admin. I'm not good at tournament organizing. I feel like I've done it so much now that I'm okay at it. But it's just like through pure sheer amount of doing it that I've gotten decent at tournament adminning and organization. It stresses me out too much. I'd like to let somebody else do it. Maybe one day this channel will just pop off organizing tournaments, and then I can just pay somebody else to admin stuff. Oh, that'd be great. I'll just pay somebody else. They can do all the tournament admin stuff, and I'll take the credit for it, you know? I'll cast the games. I'll put the tournament on, but really it'll be all this other person that I paid to do it. That sounds great. What are these poor SCVs doing down here? These Lings just sneaking on in. The Hellions not ready for it. Dark again. Surprising GuMiho with this Ling speed and a group of Lings just not where he's expecting them. 4 SCVs going down. And behind this, a Roach Warren goes down for Dark. 12 more Lings on the way. Oh, man. Oh, Dark is not chilling at all. The Hellions and Reaper are coming across. They're going to... Are there some drones we can try to kill? No, dude. Dark stopped with that for a little bit. You know, all right, he starts them back up. Drones on the way behind this. But... I mean, that Roach Warren is about to finish up. I thought for sure Dark was about to just go completely all in on like a Ling Roach push. But no, drone's up a little bit. Oh, the Lings get in. And there's not much to see here. It feels like GuMiho is just trying to go for a little attack, but he's been just so hurt. I guess it hasn't been too bad. I don't know. Those Lings getting in feels so bad for his build, but the medevac is such an interesting choice here. I guess he could try to lift up some of these units and get into the main. And he's going to lift up the Marines, but it's only 3 Marines. But the Roaches are out now, and GuMiho really doesn't have anything anti-Roach. And this is a real problem for him. He does have a Banshee on the way, and he's going to scout this about halfway across the map. It's an ideal spot to scout this, because now he knows he needs to keep stuff back at home. Hellions are not great against Roaches, but they actually can be very helpful here. Look at how much damage they do to their Roach immediately. They're not great, but could certainly be worse. Now, Dark, man, he's got a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of Roaches and Ravagers. I thought he was going to go all in on Ling Roach Ravager, and you know what? For once, I was right. He just built some drones first. GuMiho, I don't think he realized how much stuff was about to hit. And this is not looking good for GuMiho. The Banshee is going to help out quite a bit, but SCVs are going to be going down. Now, Dark does not have a lot of workers out, so he does need to kill a lot of SCVs here, but the Vials landing right on top of those guys. Oh, man, and the SCVs just piling up out front. 20 of them going down already. And this Banshee, it's doing what it can, but it only has 4 kills. It's just trying to target down these Ravagers. But the Lings and the Roaches are here as well. So many SCVs going down. However, the wall is closed right now. So as these Ling reinforcements show up, they're not going to be able to break into the main base. I'm a little surprised Dark didn't try to knock down this supply depot. He gets a lot of damage done. 26 SCVs have died. Of course, behind this, Dark droned right on up, and he's up at 55 now, almost full 3-base saturation here. He's got the lair on the way. He's getting that tech going. Dark's in a fantastic spot right now. I mean, this is going to be very difficult for GuMiho to come back from, and he he's just going to tap out as the next group of links shows up. GuMiho realizes there's just no way to come back from that. Dark takes the 3-0 victory over GuMiho. He just pops in, knocks him down, pops out, and Dark gets into the semifinals. This semifinals is shaping up beautifully right now.